This is why you shouldn't leave big gaps between your meals. Now, personally for me, I take the approach when I'm in a fat loss phase of a little bit of intermittent fasting, which basically just means skipping breakfast and pushing it back a little bit. It's that simple. There's no magic. And you still do need to be in a calorie deficit. But what I tend to do is push my meals back a little bit so my eating window is shorter, makes myself feel fuller for longer. And then I tend to eat little and often within that eating window. When I wake up at 8 in the morning, I am personally not hungry until 12. And then from there, I'll aim to have maybe 4 to 5 meals spread out between 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours that day. The issue between leaving big gaps between each meal is that you do tend to become very, very hungry. And when humans are very, very hungry, we tend to go for really quick and easy, convenient options that tend to have a shit ton of calories in them, sugar and maybe even fat, which then ends up with you completely over-consuming that amount of food, feeling like you've completely screwed up that day, and then you tell yourself this magical story that you've told yourself 100 times before, I'll just start tomorrow, or let's start on Monday. And that cycle repeats and repeats and repeats. So, I'm not saying eat little and often or follow an intermittent fasting approach. This is just what I personally do. Each meal is relatively satiating, that means making me feel full. And I just avoid leaving big gaps between each meal, because if I do, I'm probably going to eat some shit that I shouldn't be eating.